Hurricane Irene is the $10 billion natural disaster we've seen in the U.S. so far this year. That's the most in recorded history. At one point, 12 states were in a state of emergency as Irene moved up the East Coast.
Mind-boggling financial numbers. And tonight, our exclusive Capitol correspondent, Whitney Ray, tells us supporters of a National Catastrophic Insurance Fund say the widespread destruction highlights the need for that national protection.
Wind, water, and fire are just a few of the elements destroying large parts of the country this year. 2011 started with snowstorms in the Northeast and Midwest, followed by tornadoes in the South and wildfires all over. The National Flood Insurance Program is bankrupt as water begins to recede in South Dakota, where it's been a soaked summer. So far this year, there have been 10 storms, each causing more than $1 billion in damage. That's the most billion-dollar storms in a single year in U.S. history. Some say it's also proof the country would benefit from a National Catastrophe Fund. We caught up with President Barack Obama while on the campaign trail in 2008. He supported more federal help.
I think it's very important that the people of Florida are able to get insurance, and I think the national government has to provide some help.
But getting Congress on board has been tough because most states have less exposure than Florida. Industry expert Bob Lotane says the recent string of storms proves no one's safe.
We've had twisters that have destroyed a good-sized city in the middle of the country. We've had earthquakes that were all up and down the eastern coast and the mid-Atlantic coast, and now we've had a hurricane that hit 12 states. Possibly the worst damage is being seen in Vermont.
Florida has its own cat fund, but critics say it's not fat enough to keep the state from going bankrupt if a major hurricane hits a large city. A national fund would make that scenario less likely. In Tallahassee, Whitney Ray, WPTV News Channel 5.
Debate over a national catastrophe fund has been raging for more than a decade. Funding it could mean a small increase to insurance rates. Despite the destruction, the appetite for any increases remains low.